Hello guys, it's Peter from PS Sound, and this video is gonna be probably the most special and the longest video I've ever shared on YouTube. Why is it special? Well, it's special because you will see not my installs and not other installs from a competition, but you will see other people talking about how all the content I've shared on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and all the social channels, how that content affected them, how that helped them, inspired them. We had a giveaway game on Patreon. If you don't know what Patreon is, then you can go to the description and click on it. Then you can see that I've started to run Patreon, which is a exclusive channel for all the people who appreciate all the time I put into all the content. And over there I can share type of content I don't have time for anywhere else, and also content that's very deep and I can't just share it publicly. So there's a lot happening on Patreon. We have weekly topics, we have shop walkarounds, we have behind the scene content while we install the cars. We also have RTA results, all sorts of different type of stuff that I share over there that people can learn even more from. So when the Patreon channel has been growing and getting to a point around the end of summer when we were getting close to 100 members, then I thought I would start the giveaway game. Now, to some of you, it may be a new thing because you've never heard about Patreon, so you may feel like, it's not fair. We were left out of it. But at the same time, I've been advertising this ever since I started this. So hopefully now maybe some of you will have the chance to join it as well, and you can learn even more. And the next time we have something like this, you can also take part in the giveaway. So we had this giveaway game, and I told to the guys, those who are happy to shoot a video, send it to me. And so I could also share it on YouTube, then that would help the whole community. That would help all those people worldwide who struggle to get a good sounding system. They don't have the chance to go to a great shop, whether it's financial reason or they just don't have anyone around they could trust. Then they try to do their best to build the systems on their own. And equally, some people just simply enjoy dealing with it. This is their hobby, this is their passion. That's their getaway from life, family, whatever else it is. And this way they had a beautiful occasion to share their own projects, to walk around their systems, talk about it, and also talk about how they managed to improve their systems based on all the things they learned from all the content I've shared throughout the years. So it's gonna be definitely something I've never done and none of you has ever seen anywhere else. It could be you as well. It could be you as well talking about it, and you could also affect and inspire others. So it's definitely going to be a very special occasion to watch all these videos, not just for me, but now for all of you guys. At the end of the video, we will pull out the winner. Those guys, those 17 guys who send the videos to me, one of them is going to win something up to the value of £500. Whatever that they need the most in their systems, whether it's an amplifier, a DSP, speaker, help with tuning. If they are in the UK, then I can also offer a tuning session, or whatever they need the most, a player, whatever it is, then I'm gonna get in contact with the winner and we will figure out what the winner needs the most. Just to make it fair, I have all the names, and there you go. I've already just dropped a few. Bear with me. Because whenever I see giveaway games, you never really see how the winner is pulled out. And because we only have 17, we don't have like 3,000, that would be difficult. Then, you would have to use something on a computer, I guess. I have all the 17 names written on little pieces of papers. And all these names are also shared on Patreon, all the finalists. So we have Fabian, then we have Joe, we have Billy, Robert, Adrian, Jay, Matt, Chris, Kurt, Ramsey, Carl, Vasily, if I pronounce it well, Dovidas, Mark, Torsten, Raphael, and Lawrence. We have 17 names now in this, and at the end of the video I'm gonna pull out the winner, and then you can also then see who it was. You can see the person's install. So hopefully you all have the chance to check all these guys' experience and their systems, what they have gone through, what their history is in car audio, and at the end we can see who's going to be the winner.
I just wanted to share my build with you as I said I would. Some of the pieces are things that are still work in progress, but you know, this is what it is right now. First, I'll start off with the dash. So I have some custom pods. I'll put some pictures up as well. But so some custom grills, which I made a small jig. So this jig actually fits in here like this, and I can just hammer away. I mean, for me, I'm actually coming from the metalworking forum, so this is kind of the thing I do. Back when I was younger, I did you know, Caraudio. So, but anyway, so I made a fixture to make this, and you know, hammered it out, and then flat blacked it so that it would actually, you know, just kind of disappear in the dash. And then actually, from the things that I learned from you are, you know, obviously drilling out the plastic. You know, I don't want this thing to detach. And then, you know, I made some rings, some wood rings, and the depth on these rings are actually fairly shallow because I don't want them to interfere with the driver, as, you know, you've said yourself. And then if you see some reflective pieces here, that's only because I have a 3D scanner and I do a bunch of 3D scanning. So, but anyway, that's, you know, one way that I deal with looking for fitment beforehand. But anyway, so this is a 3.5 inch Illusion audio that goes in here. So it's the C3CX. Yeah, C3CX mounts right in here, and then this grill, you know, just sits in here nicely. And I'll put some pictures, or I think I'll have a video here shortly of the way this looks. And the goal right now is that this is just a flat black finish, but in the end, this will be Alcantara, which I just haven't done yet. So then we have the sub box. So this is the upper portion to the sub box. It's a clamshell design. So as you can see, there's 24 screws to hold the cover on. And, you know, some of the things obviously learning from you is actually making sure to bevel this back edge. This is only single layer 3/4 right now, but I have a 1/2 inch face that goes on this. That's going to add some rigidity. I just haven't figured out how I'm going to make that layout yet. But the idea is that, you know, I wanted to make this kind of a stealthy build within the project. And, you know, that's where it comes from. But so I have clamshelled this together. I end up with a 0.77 cubic feet. And I'm sorry, it's not liters, but all of these screw holes are strategically placed. And you can see there's dowels here. And these actually made up with the dowel on the other side, so the box is extremely rigid. But you know what? That milkshake works great. I used talc as a substrate, but before I actually do this, I'm probably going to put some fiberglass on here too, just to help with the plywood, because the entire box is layered plywood. So we'll see. But I just measured it today, so it's a little damp actually from pouring water in it, but 0.77 cubic feet. So that's the top of the box. So anyway, I'll cut away to some pictures of the bottom of the box and show you how it fits in the car. And I wanted to maximize the space, so it fits inside of on the driver's side, there's a cube, and I wanted it to fit in there nice and tight. So I've got several pictures I'll show you of that. And that, you know, I use the same method I did for the cover here. And you know what? It worked out perfect. I measured that first, and that gave me about 0.55 cubic feet. So I probably could have got away with a different woofer, but you know, I already had this woofer, so I wanted to go with it. Now the doors, I'll speak to the doors. It's an 8-inch from Illusion Audio as well. Fairly efficient. It's got that magic number 0.7, and the doors have been sound deadened using black hole squares, as well as you know, your mass loaded vinyl as well. And, from what I can tell, knocking on the doors, those things are rock solid. And then when you look at the back sides of the door panels, again, I was planning on doing this, but I'm glad you reminded me about it. I have some foam padding in there as well as some vibration dampening to try to minimize as much as possible for the dampening, but from vibrations. But I'll say this, even from the early listening to the system, yes, it's still got some sounds that I'll have to figure out. The noise, it's almost inaudible, but I do want to make this an SQ build, and I want it to be as quiet as possible. But for now, the car is extremely quiet compared to what it used to be. Lots of deadening in the car. I didn't go full bore car deadening, but I did make sure that I covered as much as I could get to without doing a ton of work. All the wires are sleeved within braided wire protection. Everything's labeled, just in case I wanted to compete with the car. I used to compete back in the day. Now, it's more about fun now. I just want to just listen to the car and see what I can come up with. And, I have been watching a lot of your videos on the tuning piece. I'm getting very close to the tuning section. I'm probably midweek this week, I'm going to be starting to do some tuning just to see where it's at, and before I start actually putting the car back together. But, there's, I have put a ground bar in it. I made a custom ground bar so that, on the Corvettes, they're pretty bad about having a ground and having a single ground. So I made a bus bar right off of it so that I have a nice solid copper backing so that I don't have to worry about grounds being an issue. And but for the most part, the sub box, does stick up a little higher than I wanted it to. That's fine. If anything, that makes it so that I can actually raise my amplifiers up a little bit and actually position them the way I wanted to. With initial listening that I've heard so far, it does sound like it's gonna, it has a minimum overhead, and I'd like to have a little bit better overhead. So I'm going to most likely be looking at some other amplifiers. But, I'm going to go with what I have right now. I don't want to spend money. One of the things that I've heard a lot on your channel is, or in your Patreon and your YouTube channel is, let's just see how it sounds. Let's not spend the money if I don't have to. And I can, make adjustments as needed. So if something doesn't work, I'm going to see where it's at before spending the money. And when it comes to the build in the garage, I'm working inside of a, 20 square fab is my little Instagram handle. It's because it's actually a 20 by 20 square foot garage. And I'll show you some video of that as well. But, I'm using a router, a jigsaw, and a small table saw. That's it. And some sanders. But that's it. Everything else by hand. Again, I'm a metal fabricator, not by trade, but that's typically what I do for the race cars. And, I'll show you that too, that it's up on a lift. But, for the most part, this is, I'm going to do with what I have. I'll spend some money where I need to spend it, but, I'm going to make it work. And, so instead of, wasting money like a lot of people do, just looking at brands, I'm going to do my research. And, I'm actually kind of happy that I found your site. There's a couple other sites that I found, but, from a technical standpoint, I think you really helped me get in the right direction. And, got me really thinking about being in, being aware of what I'm purchasing rather than just going out and spending the money on the big names. When I was younger, I would spend the money on the big names because, in the audio community, that's kind of what you did. You spent the money and, that's where you kind of got your recognition. But, these are different times. DSPs came out, and it's amazing what they can do at this point. But, I'm having a great time with this project. I've got about 3 months in it right now, just working on and off. But it's pretty close. I've missed quite a few track days from this because this car is a track car as well as street car / now audio car. And I wanted to make it to where everything is light as possible. And that's where, why going with the minimal sound dampening that I can, and you know, try them with a light build, see where I can get, and then, you know, from there, see where it goes. If I decide that this car gets retired as a track car and just becomes a street car / audio car, perfect. Otherwise, I have a time attack car that I'm building that should suffice for the track day stuff that I do. But for now, you know, just thank you for all your time. Thank you for responding to my emails and texts within Patreon. You've been really helpful, and I appreciate all of that. So thank you.
Hello there, Torsten from Denmark, with a try to build an SQ car with a budget on 3,000 euros, and it started out as a idea of getting decent sound in the car, and made the typical beginner mistake by just buying a three-way component set and swapped it with OEM speakers in the car, and came to the conclusion it needed a little bit more effort, since the result from that was not at all satisfying. So after watching videos on YouTube from Peter Steinberg, I got inspired, and started with a build, which really was kicked off with the Mega Megan project. And it's going to be a three-way in the front with an SB Acoustics tweeter and hybrid audio L4 SE carbon, which is already mounted in the car. And as you can see here, I made this aluminium swing, which is surface treatment black, and it sits out there as close as possible to the windscreen. And that I got the inspiration from the Insignia high-end build, and the tweeters is going in the A-pillars when I got the design idea right. And the kick base is going to be placed here by cutting a hole through the car at some point. The car has been sound treated rather heavily with 3 layers of silent coat and some foam on the top, and it got treatment everywhere on the roof and as close up to the firewall as possible, and all the doors, which I'm really pleased with it. They are super dead. And here in the trunk, it's going to be trunk bottle with an acoustic elegance 15-inch, and amplification wise it's Subwoofer all the way with these ST4X SQ, with the first one which is powering the tweeters and the mid-range, and the second one is going to be bridged for the kick through the floor. The third one is a monoblock, the ST850, which is driving the sub. And on the right side we have power, and there's plenty of connections for the amplifiers and LED lighting and an extra 12 volt outlet in the trunk. On the other side we have signal, which is going to be like this with an amp rack And then underneath, on the back side of the amp rack, this Helix DSP-3 is going to be mounted upside down, with the idea that the RCAs should be short, and it's going to be something like that, just like with the going out and down. And the kick bass is going to be there in there, which is this metal housing. This rather heavy wing, which is bolted together on the bottom of the car with 13 M10 bolts and some plastic wing to avoid condensation. And it is the Micro Precision 5 series, which is going to be mounted there. And from the outside, it's going with some wing guard, mesh, and this wing to hold it all together. From an aluminum block, I made this aluminum housing for the mid-range, which turned out pretty decent. And my digital front end is a FiO M3 Pro, and there's an alternative, a Shanling M1 with an USB audio out going into a topping D10S. If we can get some focus here. And it is powered by a little linear power supply which converts 12 volt into 5 volts. On a daily basis, the USB-C out is just my phone. And made a little details like a brass. Come on. This little brass knob as a volume knob, and something here for some details in the trunk. The tweeter is not designed quite yet, but it's in the A-pillars with some details like that. That is my idea of an SQ car on a reasonable budget, like 3,000 euros, and it's probably gonna end up in a competition, EMA competition here in Denmark.
Hey Peter, just making a quick video for the Patreon giveaway. Figure I'd show you what I got going on in my car. It's a 2011 Dodge Charger. I'm working on putting in a 4-way front end with a 15-inch trunk baffle sub. Up front, I'll switch the camera around. Up front, I've got ScanSpeak 11M 4.5-inch dash mid-ranges. That's over top the OEM spot. Made a custom panel up there to mount them flush instead of behind the grills. Originals were only 3.5. Got a ScanSpeak D3004 dome tweeter. After some testing, I think I'm gonna take them off the A-pillars here, move them out to the sail panel out in the corner. Help get the stage a little bit wider than what I have right now. And right now I'm working with a 7-inch mid-bass driver in the door, but I would like to make fiberglass pods and do vented kicks down here. So I got plenty of room to do it. So we'll cut into the fender well, vent them outside. And then in the glove box I have removed right now, we'll be putting in a 10-inch front sub. Those mid-bass speakers, they only play down to about 70 to 80 hertz. So the 10-inch should take between there and the 15 in the back. I've got the Helix director put up front here, and I have topping D10 straight into the Helix in the back with coaxial. So here's the progress of my trunk build right now. I've got the baffle cut for Stereo Integrity IB15 custom made. And then down here, getting the amp rack built for 3 Zapco amps. Top one's a 400.2 will run the 15-inch sub in the back, 10-inch front sub. And then each of the Zapco LXs is going to run one side each for the 3-way and rear fill. So I just made up all of the RCA ends. The Helix DSP tucked in underneath of there. And then over here, I'll have the distribution block mounted for running the power and ground. And these side panels here will be getting trimmed out with black plexiglass that's sitting right there, one for each side. And then finish building out the false floor and leaving plexiglass cover over top of the 3 amps. So a couple different ways all your videos have been helping me out lately. Originally I was planning on doing mid-ranges on A-pillars, but after seeing all your speaker placement videos, I decided to give the OEM dash speakers a shot. I'm really glad I did. They sound really good right up there. I'm able to fit in a little bit bigger speaker than what I could have done on the A-pillar. And I never really heard too much about Infinite Baffle before all your videos. So instead of doing seal box in the back and door builds, which now I'm going to be doing the trunk baffle setup with the 15 and front sub. So that made a real big difference, plus all the various tuning videos and help here and there. It's been a lot of help. Spent a lot of time watching all your videos, and the Patreon's been a real big help too. So look forward to all your new videos coming out, and can't wait to get my car done. Thank you.
Hi everyone, hi Peter. This is it. This is the time when you are going to listen to someone else talking about Caraudio. So the plan is to, first of all, I would like to thank you for the PS Sound channel, for the fact that you are sharing knowledge there, and even if you say that you don't want to give everything for free to anyone on YouTube, you basically told a lot, and I will recommend everyone to get and watch all of your videos, because in every video, even about, I don't know, on unboxing of for example Accuton, something like that, every time you sneak some information, a lot of knowledge. Thank you for that. And basically because of your whole channel and this one video from Nick Apicella, I gained skill in tuning of Caraudio. I'm also a live audio engineer in a rock band. But it's more like a hobby. It's not. I'm not doing it for a living. So it was much easier for me to enter this world, because this serious journey started maybe a year ago. In previous car I had something, but passive system. That's not the way to go. So yeah, in this car I started to do it properly, and thank you for that. Basically with all the knowledge and the theory I had from the live audio world, I know what is crossover, how to EQ, what is the phase, and all this stuff. But I started to do it in the wrong way before I watched your videos and basically realized that you are there. So I tried with smart, with single mic position and stuff like that. And then I watched Nick talking about RoomEQ Wizard and this whole thing regarding equalizing the system, regarding active speakers, and then I move. I will, yeah. The next part is I will show my system, and then I would like to run through the, let's say, Rta Session, as like you did for many cars. Yeah. Then I will show my system, and you inspired me to not make trade-offs. I have a lot of trade-offs there. For example, I have woofers in the door, but yeah, maybe I will talk about it later during the system presentation. What else? Maybe one day we can meet each other and talk more. Basically, with all the gear I have, I tried a lot of stuff like measuring the phase, dealing with the time alignment. I tried everything, and finally I think that ear is the final method. You can do all this stuff, but yeah, you need to hear to the music. You need to know how the recording should sound like. I don't have a proper reference, to be honest, because there in my region, especially, the Caraudio community is about passive systems. Once I went to a meeting and realized that I'm the one with active system, with DSP, etc. All the guys had basically morals in their vans because of a local dealer. It was more like a meeting of customers, moral customers, than Caraudio meeting in general. Mysterious thing. So yeah, that's why it's hard for me to get proper reference. As I said, I was the only one with active system. The rest is fully passive. The rest is using, I don't know if you know this tiny little box called Mosconi FSA. It stands for front stage adjuster. It's a box which deals with phase some way. By the way, sorry for my English, I'm not a native speaker. I hope you will stay with me as long as you can. I'm not as fluent as you. I think many guys there. Okay, let's start this way. I can't switch the camera when recording, so yeah. As you see, I have a mid bass in the door, but unfortunately in this door there is no enclosure. If you take this part out, you will see the outer steel. The woofer is mounted to this piece basically, but I know that it's not like you will do possibly, but this is the trade-off, unfortunately. But this is the best way I can do it in this car. Of course, maybe I can think about a enclosure, close sealed enclosure, but this one is mounted to a plywood ring, then fiberglass to this piece. I don't know the name of this. It's maybe door card, I don't know. Then screwed to the plastic from the back, and then fiberglassed everywhere. will try to upload some photos. There's a fiberglass behind everywhere. Then the door are treated, then deadened, then silenced. So yeah. This is Rainbow Germanium series woofer, and to be honest, it gives a lot of kick. And I saw a lot of woofers you've mounted in many cars. I mean, on the Rta videos. I will show my. I don't think it's bad. Then, yeah, this is a three-way active system. Then I have DLS up 2.5 dome mid-range, and this is the biggest mistake I made in this one. But basically, it's the first system I've built from scratch. This is the first pillars I've made. So yeah, this is something that needs change, and basically I already got micro precision 5.8, and yeah, the dashboard is coming out. I will mount them to the dashboard, of course, there and on the other side. I don't know yet why, how, but yeah, there is a tiny little space. As far as I know, there is a 2 centimeters under the dash, so I need to figure out something, create a rings, and yeah, they will be higher, probably by 3 centimeters, because those micro precision drivers are 5 centimeters in depth. Yeah, so this is the biggest mistake I've made, because it's a dome. As you will see on the Rta, this is I have a huge gap in woofer area, around 500 Hertz. So yeah, I hope that when I go with cone mid-range, I will close that gap and it will be fine. Then these are the Helix P1t Tweeters. There is a head unit, but it's, to be honest, used only to switch the DSP on. Of course, it's connected to the phone via Bluetooth, but basically it's using the USB Player Pro with the USB hack extension to the DSP. And yeah, if you pair the phone with the head unit, then I can switch the songs there and from the steering wheel. But yeah, for pure SQ, this head unit is not used. Then about mistakes. Here maybe you can see that these pillars are made of some foam shitty thing, and they don't fit to the rubber anymore. It's because of the fiberglass. I think it just bent 2 weeks after I installed the pillars. They just bent like this, and they don't fit anymore. Yeah, that's why I've flogged there. Not they are not trimmed, because it was not possible. They are too soft. Okay, so now let's go to the trunk. Okay, we are in the trunk. So starting from the DSP, here is the Helix DSP Pro. It's a Mark 1. As far as I remember, you've had one some time ago, and as far as I know, you won a competition with that. But yeah, as you said many times, the equipment is the one thing, and another thing is to use it properly. So I think this is not a limitation. To be honest, I'm planning to maybe buy a DSP Ultra because of this ACO platform and the fast switching between presets. Yeah, I really miss this in the DSP Pro, because to change a preset you need tens of seconds, and it's not instant. You can't compare proper way. I like to compare yeah, the instant way. I mean, just switch and there you go. For the sub there is a DLS A6. Basically they are all it's used equipment, used or collected. I don't know how to use it. It's not new, not factory new, not brand new. For the sub there is DLS A6. I think that's a pretty SQ amplifier. And Genesis section for the front. We have a 4-channel for tweets and mids, and dual mono for woofers with a connection. It was Audison, as far as I know. This connection distributor box for the power. Yeah. And this DSP has heck USB. I also bought this Chinese thing. It's XMOS based USB to coax and optical converter, because yeah, I heard on one of the forums that it will help you to have better staging. I don't know, maybe it's bullshit, but you can trust me. Some time ago I went to a local, I mean maybe not local, but yeah, to the very respected Caraudio shop there, and the guy played a song to me and then switched between the same signal, the same it was the same amplifier, the same source, then just switch between coax and optical, and there was a difference, very slight, very small difference, but yeah, it was a difference. So after this I realized that maybe I need to sometimes verify by myself instead of just saying yeah, it's a bullshit, it's still a SPD YF signal and it can't hear different, it's the same signal, just another medium, you know. Yeah, and for the sub I have JL W6, it's V2. This foam has been replaced because that's an old speaker, so yeah, also not, it was not, I didn't bought it new, but it was replaced by basically the best workshop here in Poland, I mean the best speaker workshop, who basically makes a custom SPL applications for the guys there, because yeah, there is a no SQ community there in Poland. There is no competition. There was a competition in maybe a year and two ago, but only SPL. There are no judges there, so yeah, that's why it's really hard to listen to a proper sounding car. Okay, so I think that's it. Am I covered everything? I think so, yeah. About the signal cables, I made them by myself. To be honest, I don't understand wandering and buying some cables that are some cables that are custom made and with, you know, this directivity stuff, and I don't know, gold and silver running speaker cables. Maybe, yeah, as I said before, maybe one day I will be able to hear the difference, but not for now, I think. Okay, that's the last part I think you deserved it to show you the Rta Session from this car. Basically, it's a fifth tune for this freeway setup. Before I've had no mid-range and tried many things with two-way, but the freeway was planned from the beginning. So the best section first, the mid basses. You like this part. So let's move this way. I have woofers, mids and tweets. Then, as you will see, I made predictions, because let's show how it looks like. You can share it, of course. We have a woofer there. As you see, there is a huge gap there in 500 area. There is a gap as well, but yeah, as you know that, yeah, we can deal with that. Then I will show it once maybe. Then I made an EQ. What is going on? Sorry, let's scroll there and then EQ, and we can see the measured trace, then the target shape, and the filters that are applied by. Sorry, let me turn the volume down. The filters that are applied by the Room EQ wizard, and from that, as you can see the settings there, I'm using third Butterworth with 18 dB slope. I just find it more musical that the fourth order liquid really. And yeah, I'm curious why you are stick to the liquids really. With a 24 dB slope. Maybe one day we can discuss it. I find it more musical, and this way it integrates with the sub a little bit better. For the low pass, I have liquids lowering to 24, and for the sub as well, you will see. So from this you can generate measurement from the predicted line. This is the green one, and this is the prediction, as you can see. And after EQ, it looks like that. So you can compare basically how close you are to the predicted shape. Basically, you can see if the settings you applied to the EQ, if they are real, if they measure the same way that they are predicted. That's how I run the whole process. So there is a left and then a right mid bass. This is awful. Yeah. So this is before EQ, then the prediction. Yeah, those are the predictions, and after EQ it looks basically the same. It means that the EQing is working. For example, if you will have, I don't know, if you will have, for example, a boost here, if you will set the Room EQ wizard to boost this area to match the prediction line. Of course, I'm not telling it to you, Pete, but maybe you will share it so others can watch it. If you will boost and Room EQ wizard will predict that the green predicted one line will follow this target shape, then after the EQ and the measurement, you will see that the predicted line does not compare to the does not follow the measured line. So yeah, those are the woofers, mid basses. You call them mid basses. Yeah, there is a little gap there, but it's fine. I'm not. It's not a, let's say, technical preset. It's more like a musical one. And let's move to the and now for the woofers we have the woofer pair, and it looks like that because I'm using the correlated pink noise. Once we discussed it on Facebook group, but to be honest, I don't understand using uncorrelated ones because it won't show anything which is common for both drive. I mean, you can see what is going on when those drivers play the same frequency, and you know that for bass content in the songs there is almost no stereo information. So, and to be honest, to generate a line with the woofers in uncorrelated, with uncorrelated pink noise, you can do trick like that. You can just do stuff like this and this, generate the line, and it will show you. And I'm pretty sure that if I measure this with uncorrelated peak noise, I will get this line. And as you can see, it differs a lot from what is real. And for some reason I have a lot of boomy bass there. And then I moved to the third order Butterworth filter. This is the sum of the woofers, and this is the sum, and I EQ'd them a little bit to something like that, just this area and there some little corrections. So this is the pair of the woofers, again using correlated pink noise. Then the mids are looking like that, and they are crossed. They are crossed like that with liquids really 24 for the high pass to because they have FS of 490, so it's around basically the problematic area on woofers. That's why this is the shitty solution for mid-range, and you are completely right about that. So yeah, as you can see, I've selected second order Butterworth for the low pass. I find it more musical for some reason. A lot of audiophile applications and speakers and home audio stuff is using this one, or even 6 dB slope with first order Butterworth crossover. I tried, of course, Linguist really 24 for all the crossovers, and just find this one more musical. So there is a prediction for the left mid, and the final measurement, as you see, it covers beautifully. Then for the right mid, the prediction and the measured shape. Then we have tweeters, left and right, then predictions, and the measured ones. So as you see, they match very nice. And yeah, I'm selecting the same target level there. It's nice to do it like that, because you will get an equal level from both drivers. Of course, if you tune this and EQ this correctly, so you don't need to adjust the volume at the end on the DSP. You have centered image and nice balance after just the EQ. Maybe some final touches with volume slider, but up to 1 dB. So yeah. Then we have a mid-bass pair Then mids pair. This is shit, I know. And tweeter pair. I have a mid bass plus mid as well, but then I can move to the, maybe let's go to the subsection. It's nice, I think. There is, yeah, sub has that kind of filtering. It's a Linquist really slope, and as far as I remember, I boosted this area a little bit with a shelf filter just to match this area. So no, maybe we have 3 filters there only. So there is a sub and sub after EQ, and then the whole system looks like this. So let's switch them off. So this is the system. As you can see, there is this shitty gap because the mids are starting playing from there, and the mid basses stops there. So I can't cover this area in a way. Yeah, some guys on the forums told me that just cross those mid ranges like 300, but it's way below FS. I don't want to do it. So I think it's pretty linear. It's all 1/6 smoothing. As you can see, if you set a line there are some gaps, some boosts, but maybe up to 1.5 dB. Then for some reason I have a rising edge from 400, but that's fine. To be honest, I'm listening to a lot of rock music, to electronic music, and as you know, making this linear and like a competition tune will make it hard to listen, to be honest. Even with this maybe little gap here in the area where metal is really harsh, it's still, I can't crank the system up to like live. Yeah, basically I can, but I will need to create another preset for rock music, for let's say fun preset, because this one I will name it maybe like not competition, but the linear one. This one, this area needs correction, but yeah, this is, I can't do much about it now. I think it's fine. It sounds really fine. And maybe what I will expect from this system is to have more depth from the stage, because the stage is there. There is a mirror, and the stage is there, very close to the face. So I hope when I move the mid ranges to the dash, and those tweets will be a little bit lower there, like you have in Insignia and your Honda. I hope this will make it better. Yeah, as you said, if you want best sounding car, just mount the mids on the dash. And I will try it. I think it's okay. For the sub, of course, I have this controller here, this old one, URC. The bottom knob is for the sub. I don't know if you find this the same way, but if you play metal, I need to add a lot of output on the subwoofer to feel it like on live concert, because for some reason I have no idea why all this metal rock recordings are shit. There is no bass, there is no mid, they are thin, there is yeah, it's a harsh thing. Not if you are making a system to play only metal, maybe it's fine, then you can add a lot of mid bass, add a lot of subwoofer, but then if you play, for example, this I Will Remember track by Toto, it will blow up your sub. So this is it. I hope 15 minutes. I will make a single clip from all of those 3 videos upload, and yeah. Thank you once again. I hope we will be able to meet one day in maybe in your garage. Maybe I will have some trip to the United Kingdom with my girlfriend, and maybe you can do it one day. Okay, that's it. Bye, and see you.
Hi guys, it's just started raining, so I'm going to try and make this brief. My name's Matt, I'm from Brighton in the UK, and this is my daily driven Volvo 240 GL. It's a bit of a strange choice for a project car, I guess, but when I started driving, I knew straight away that I wanted to get a project car that I could work on, something that, you know, I could chip away at little by little. It's my first build, so I wanted something quite easy to work on, and I obviously wanted a car that I'd liked, and this kind of just ticked all the boxes, really. I love the way they look when you get a couple of mods on them, like lowering and just a new nice set of fresh wheels on. None of that's done yet, but it's all a work in progress. And it's also super easy to modify. So it's a 89, so it's pretty basic on the inside, which has just really helped out with you know, just working around the interior. So in the back, we've got a single XV15 in a sealed enclosure. It's right about 2.3 litres, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was so long ago since I made it. And that's run by a single Gladen RC1200s. And for the mids and the tweets and the mid bass, it's a 3.0 up front. I'm using the Zapco SDX6, and the future is it's hopefully going to be fully active. I do at the moment have the Helix DSP Mini, but of course it's only the 6th channel and I need 8. The reason I got that one is because originally the plan for the car was to have more an SPL build, but as time went on and things changed, I figured I'd just start a little bit easier, go for more of an SQ build, nothing too flashy, just something that I can enjoy, that, you know, it gives me a nice introduction to the car, to Caraudio. So I've already outgrown my DSP, but, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. None of it's actually wired up yet. This is all kind of just put in for show for this video, because it's still very much a work in progress. Obviously, I've only recently started carpeting. I just got the sub box done today. This little panel on top is going to be carpeted. This is just, it's one for security, and two, it just made it a little bit easier to get the carpeting done. One of the main points of this build is, being a daily driven car, I need to have all of the functionality still. So still got all of my storage space. There's a little bit more under there, although that's just got more of the car parts in there. Spare wheel, still fully accessible. Just got to take these clips out, all in the original positions. There's another one over there, and this slides out. You can get to the wheel in, you know, less than 10 seconds. So I'll move around to the back of the sub box now. Now in the back there is this cutout in the box for the second battery. It's a AGM leisure battery. It's pretty hefty, probably overkill, but the thing is, these cars being quite old, they have pretty lackluster electrical system, and I figured rather than messing about with alternators and, you know, refurbishing, upgrading, I'll just get another battery, stick it in the back, and hope that does the job. It's not the most powerful system, but I guess I can change it if I need to. Up front it's just a 62 amp hour standard battery. I have had to upgrade the terminals because they were like, I don't really know how you'd say it, they were fully attached to the wires that are attached to the car, so I had to cut those off and upgrade to something that will take the new 0 gauge cabling I'll have to put in. So that's those. Now up the front, as I said, it's a 3-way. Still a work in progress, so nothing's working yet. But in the doors, it's a 6.5-inch uranium mid-bass from Ground Zero. It's right about, I think, 7.5 to 8 litres. It's a little bit smaller than I'd hoped for, but I'm hoping, you know, once I've got some polyfill in there or something, it should bump it up a little bit, right about to where they want to be. But, you know, if it doesn't work out, I can change out the drivers, and if that still doesn't work, I just make some new ones, because it didn't take too long to put these together, really. No door cards on at the minute, obviously, but once all the speaker wires and things are set through, and the wires are coming through the door, I can get those back on. And the enclosures literally just, they'll sit in front of the door cards, so they're held on by 4 machine bolts through to rivets. That was fun, trying to learn how to use those for the first time. And then there's going to be 2 more on the inside of the box, just around there. Okay, so on the inside, on the dash, I decided to go for pods instead of messing about with the A-pillars, because there's literally nothing behind these. It's the metal of the A-pillar, and then right up against it is this plastic. I'm using the uranium tweeters, so in the same line as the mid-bass, and I'm not actually using the mid-range that came with the set, because I like to play my music quite loud, and it's quite a small driver, and it's not got the best sensitivity, so I didn't want to risk having a system that, you know, it's limited in terms of volume by the mid-range, so I went for a slightly bigger one. Obviously, it's also going to help bring the stage up a little bit, because they're going to be able to play lower. So I'm using the Gladen Zero Pro mid-range speakers. They're, I think, a 3-inch with a phase plug. Higher sensitivity, larger driver, and I think they got a slightly higher power rating. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I thought they were a good choice also because of the phase plug, so I'm not sure if I'm going to have the drivers facing just straight up to the dash, the windscreen, sorry, or more out towards the driver. The driver as in me. I'll have to, you know, once I got them all set up and running, test it out quite a bit, but I don't have the tools or an RTA or anything for that kind of thing, so it's just going to be done by ear, I suppose. I might have to speak around, see what other people think. But yeah, that's kind of the build as it is so far. It's certainly been a work in progress. Lots of learning curves. It's, you know, before this I had probably 5 minutes experience using a jigsaw, but that's about it. Since starting this, I've learned how to fiberglass, you know, using routers, rivets, carpeting, wiring, soldering, because I've made all my own RCAs. Oh, I forgot about the source side. So, I don't need it. Sources run just Bluetooth off my phone to the head unit. I know it's not the best solution, but rather than, you know, going down the player of an audio player or streaming to the DSP, because it's just going to cost me a bit more money. I already had the head unit, so I figured I'll compromise there a little bit, just run off Bluetooth. As I say, it's not ideal, but it'll do the job. So yeah, as I was saying, lots of learning curves. But for me, they were all things that I could teach myself, but the things that I think Peter's videos have really come in handy for is just the whole audio side of it. You know, things like where your speakers need to be aiming, how you can seal your enclosures like Milkshake. I'd never heard of that before, but I think that's going to be a game changer with this system. Getting properly sealed enclosures. As I said, the inserts, riv nuts, things like that I'd never thought to have used, and because he's got the experience, he knows what works. So, and he's got so much, like such a vast amount of things that you can learn from him as well. You know, I found that I'd just end up just scrolling through his videos, looking for, you know, something that I knew I needed to find out, like, oh, I don't know, let's say fiberglassing, for instance. I knew, without having seen a video of his, I knew he'd have one up, because he's just covered so much of the content that I'd need to know. And that's the kind of thing that I think you can't just get from anywhere. Driver choice, you know, what kind of speakers, what amps to use. Although he doesn't really say explicitly, he kind of gives you a good idea of what kind of things you need. And I think without that information, I'd still be just left in the dark with this build. And I think it was actually some of Peter's videos that really kick-started my drive to get this started. Because, you know, I'd put it off for so long, I didn't want to make the wrong choices, which I suppose I did in the end. Switching from SPL to SQ, but no, I think Peter's videos gave me the kickstart I needed to get this done, and I'm so grateful that I did. I've had so much fun doing this. It's been an absolute blast. I'm only halfway there yet, so I've got plenty ahead of me. But I'm really looking forward to having the finished product so that I can enjoy myself. I can take to car shows, give demos to other people. I think that's what it's all about, really, just having fun, getting a system you enjoy, and yeah, just having a good time. So I suppose anyone that's looking to either start their new build or get someone else to do the work for them, I'd fully recommend it, because having sat in cars myself at car meets, it's another experience being in a car compared to sitting in a room in front of speakers. You know, in some ways it's better, some ways it's worse, but it's a totally different experience. But also just doing the work yourself, it's been so much fun for me, so I wouldn't have it any other way, really. Yeah, I suppose that's about it. As I said, I'm from Brighton in the UK, so if anyone watching this is also around the area and you see me driving about, the big old green 240, just give me a honk, flash a light, something like that, let me know. I'd love to chat with you, you know. I love meeting people that are also into car audio. It's just great to have chats to like-minded people. But yeah, cheers for watching, guys. Maybe sometime I'll give an update video somewhere, maybe on Instagram. I'm not sure when the build's done. Otherwise you'll find me at car shows, I suppose, in the southeast. So yeah, cheers for watching.
Hello, Peter at PS Sound. This is Ramsey, and this is my car, 1978 Mercedes-Benz 280 CE Coupe. Love this car. Fortunately, I bought it right before I had to go out of town for work. I had to drive, the plan was for me to drive this vehicle from my home in Colorado up to my job in Vancouver, do about a 4-week job in Vancouver, and then drive to Toronto, where I was going to be for about 6 months. Unfortunately, I had to leave before I was able to get the car ready to drive up. So I flew to Vancouver, and while I was in quarantine for 2 weeks, as was the custom at the time for international travelers, kind of lost my mind a little bit, started looking for another car, and found this one, a 1980 300 CD, the diesel version of the same car that I have back home. It's not quite in as good a shape cosmetically, but mechanically it was very sound, and it seemed that it would be me that was up for the trip. Now, when I started in all this, I never expected to be able to have a great stereo in the car. It's an old car. I wanted to keep things pretty original. They have dash mount speakers and some unfortunate things that make it difficult to put in subs and other things that I'll go into later. Anyway, but I was no way going to be able to make the journey from Vancouver to Toronto without some sort of stereo. So I went to a local stereo place there in Vancouver and kind of went over some things with the gentleman there and told him that I kind of wanted to use this car as a guinea pig for what kind of stereo I'd end up putting in my 280 CE back home. So we talked about it for a little while and a couple of different things, and he suggested that I try these Bonneville Labs speakers to go in the dash position. Bonneville Labs LFR 80. I'm like, okay, I'm up for it. He also suggested a Kenwood deck. In the one I have back home, I have the original Becker that has been retrofitted, gutted and retrofitted with digital receiver and little digital amps. No big deal, but it's something that, you know, can play the radio and deal with my phone for driving. Also, we ended up putting in little JL micro sub, which I hide underneath the rug back here because I'm in kind of a sketchy neighborhood. So I was able to get that installed in a day, which was great because I needed to leave for Toronto the next day. So I was actually really surprised that that little sub and those two wideband speakers in the dash sounded as good as they did. I mean, there was no tuning to it. It has a little time delay in the head, which was basically set for some basic time alignment. But anyway, I was really surprised that it sounded decent. So then I was very optimistic that I could do something like you do in some of your cars. Anyway, so I thought, well, what I could do is I kind of wanted to listen to some other speakers, and I know that you were a big fan of the Audible Physics, and I found a pair became available of the NZ3, or the NZ3 as you guys call them. And so yeah, I ordered those up, had them shipped up to me, and went to trade them out. So after searching for the right screws, the right connectors, and the things in order to trade out the LFR 80s for the NZ3s, I was holding the speaker in my hand like this over the NZ3s, and somehow, I don't know if it was the magnets or because I was, whatever, it doesn't matter. I ended up dropping this speaker on top of my brand new NZ3 and did that. Oh my God, I was so upset. I could not believe it. Had not even put them in yet, and I had already, what I thought, ruined them. And needless to say, I was extremely upset. Lots of cussing, lots of ranting, lots of distress. Anyway, I contacted the guy I got them from. He said, just go ahead and try them. They may not be a problem. If it ends up being a problem, I can order another one and replace it. I was like, well, I'm in it this far. So anyway, I installed those, and they sounded really good too. Again, no tuning, but I wouldn't say they were night and day between the BLAMs. So until I'm able to get the car, you know, to be able to analyze them in the car, I'm not going to know which one I'm going to end up choosing. But so now I'm on the path. So I feel like what I want to do is I want to have either the NZ3s in the dash or the BLAM LFR 80s or the micro precisions that you go on about so much. I think the plan would be to start with the one of the two that I have now, and then if I need to make adjustments later on, depending on how it all works out, we'll go from there. As for the mid bass, I'm open to cutting. Yes, Peter, you've talked me into it. The problem is there's nobody that I know in the States that shares your passion for it, and I'm not sure that I trust anybody, and I certainly am not up to the task on my own. You've seen what I did with my drivers, just holding them, much less cutting into a car. Anyway, I think there's plenty of room in the kicks to do a mid bass down there. There's on the driver's side, there is of course the emergency brake, parking brake. This has some apparatus behind it in there that would need to be dealt with. But I don't know if we can go into the side here or if it's something that can go into the back there. I don't know. I need some professional help with that. Unfortunately, you can't do the way you did in the BMW because there's this big rail right here. So it would have to be way back underneath the seat, which does not seem like it's ideal. The doors are big and beefy, but we all know how you feel about doors. Unfortunately, for the sub, in these old cars, the gas tank, that's hard to show here, but the fuel tank is on the back wall vertically right behind the back seat. So there's no clear path for the sound to get through. There is this first aid kit that has a hole that could be accessed there. Possibly something could be done there. I'm not sure. This is something that will have to be addressed further along. But for the time being, considering how happy I am with just that micro sub in the back seat, perhaps we can make do with mid-bass drivers in the bottom and saving the sub for later. I don't know. Again, lots of things to determine. I also, definitely going to need a DSP. I know that goes without saying. And I think considering the space limitations in the vehicle, I'm kind of liking the idea of a amp with the DSP built in, but there's too much information out there for me to sort through. Even on your videos, I cannot soak up all the information. So that's where I am. I have a lot of high hopes. I'm open to experimentation, and I'm looking forward to learning more from you. And really, the worst thing about falling into your channel and your wealth of information that you're so generous to share is that you're there and I'm here. So finding someone that can do what you do here, I think there's an installer in Colorado that seems to be pretty good, but I don't think he's very good at designing systems. There's other people that are, I'm willing to drive. I'm not afraid to go check places out. There's Apicella in New York. We'll see. I don't know. I mean, that is really far for me to go, and he seems to be a little, I don't know. Anyway, hoping you can help me design a system that we can that I can take to someone here in the States and have them implement. Maybe a little at a time, maybe do it all at once. I don't like the idea of being without my car for weeks and weeks, but if we got to do it right, I'd be much more confident to do it with you. We'll have to see if we can find someone here that can instill that same confidence. Anyway, thank you for all of your knowledge that you share, your enthusiasm, your passion for car audio. You've definitely got a disciple in me. Thanks again.
Hi Peter, this is Mihai from Romania, and first of all I want to thank you for everything that you posted and taught us to how to make a proper SQ system. And I want to show you what I've made until now from about 2 years of experience, about 2 years that I started properly mounting speakers and amplify them and make a proper system. So that being said, this is my car. This is a Skoda Octavia 2 from 2006. And this is what I made until now. So, starting with the A-pillars, we have tweeters from Masway. They're, I don't know the model, U1 I think. They're dedicated for Mercedes and they're made out of titanium, which has a really metallic sound, so I don't quite like them. I'm gonna change them and put them on axis, because now, because of the tweeters, the center image moves a little bit on the screen. It's not perfect. For mid-range, we have hybrid audio Unity U3, which are in a wood enclosure. The ring is made out of MDF, and the back of it is made out of wood, pieces of wood, your puzzle technique, how you say. And in the back, everything is tightened together with a milkshake made out of resin, carbondo, and sand. So these are the A-pillars. They're okay. And for the player, we have an Alpine, if I'm not mistaken, 9861 RE, which is fiber optic on the back only for the CDs and DVDs, which is old school, but I like it. Trying keeping things classic. Here is the remote for the processor, an SAX X DSP. It's a nice processor, could be better. And oh, in the doors, factory location, versus place you can put speakers. There are Dynaudio speakers, 18 centimeters if I'm not mistaken. They're okay, but the doors, the response from the doors is pretty shitty, so to say. The doors are properly deadened. They're like rock, but still there are a little bit of rattles and squeaky noises, which is the worst thing you can have on a car when you're listening to music. And let me show you in the back. In the back here, we have the subwoofer in an enclosure made by me. The front is made out of wood, and the back it's made out of fiberglass, milkshakes, deadening material, sponge, everything you can put in a mix to make an enclosure, make it like a damn rock. And it's great. The subwoofer, it's a hybrid audio Clarus 10, 10-inch. The processor is there, not something special, it's a simple processor. And the amplifiers, Genesis 5-channel, driving the tweeters and the mid-range from the pillars, and the subwoofer. Maybe I'll film the amplifier. Okay, so the Genesis 5-channel driving the tweeters, mid-range, and subwoofer, and a Genesis 4-channel, Genesis 4-channel driving the mid-bass in the doors, bridged. So underneath everything there is another battery, all the fuses. I try to keep it simple as I could, but everything is gonna be modified next week. We'll have springs like this underneath, so I can pop this up when I have to work underneath. And a little bit about the system. The enclosure, the subwoofer plays from 8 Hz to about 70 Hz. It's okay, it's a linear response because the enclosure is properly made, it's sealed. It's made after your specifications of how you should make a sealed enclosure. It would be better with the front subwoofer, but need to be calculated because the space in the car, it's daily and my wife will kill me. And this is the new project for the next week. Micro Precision 5 Series tweeters, Micro Precision mid-bass 5 Series, which will go under the seats. I'm gonna cut the floor, I don't care, I want proper sound. The rings for the mid basses will come maybe Monday or Tuesday. And new processor, Masway Twin 12, a full parametric equalizer, and mini DSP microphone for the tune. So Peter, this is my car. This is what I made until now. I'm pretty happy with it. The sound's almost perfect. Needs more tune-up, but after I'm gonna mount the mid bass under the seats and deadening the seats, I hope it's gonna be the mid bass I want, because there's a little bit of lag between mid bass and mid range, and maybe it will sound great. So Peter, thank you for everything that you taught me, everything that you showed me in your videos. I'm really learning new stuff, and I'm really learning how to become a proper installer and a proper SQ system owner. Thank you very much, and see you on your next videos. Peace, bye.
Hello, Peter. My name is Rafael. I'm from Brazil, and I will do a little walk around in my system to show everything and explain. And after, I will talk a little about how you helped me a lot to do the tuning of system, to build the enclosure, 8 pillars, and sound deadening, treatment of the doors, and everything that I made here. This is my car. It's a Brazilian Ford K, and I think in Europe they called K Plus or Figo. And here is my system. I have DLS Nordica subwoofer in sealed enclosure, Helix P1t Tweeters system active for mid bass and tweeters, and under this I have Helix SPLX monoblock for the subwoofer. Here I have Dayton DSP, 8 channel, doing RCA cables. I have precision power, capacitor power for the power distribution, and underneath there I have the block distributions that here they are very hidden because my trunk is not very big, so that's what I have. And I have another panel here to cover everything, and I can use the trunk for a daily drive, daily car. It's normally. Here I have 9mm of sound deadening at the front doors. Are very huge, like a wall, and there's nothing. And going to the doors, I have another DLS Nordica from mid-bass. I have Caraudio black from Tweeters, done in 8 pillars, but I have to build it again because it's not so beautiful, so I will do it again. And here is my car. The position of mid-bass is so good for the sound stage because they appear very well in the upper stage, but not so good from wavelength in 80 Hz, 90 Hz, and they didn't have so much pressure in mid-bass like a small subwoofer that I wanted to. They do in the door, but they don't have. My head unit is an iPad mini, Apple iPad, playing with Tidal and Spotify. And behind iPad, I have an DAC, DAC, and topping D10S, and going to USB from iPad to the DAC, and after going from RCA from the processor, and here go made the sound. A little of the sound playing in PS Sound playlist demo. And here I have the control of my DSP. The iPad's removable. He's playing here, and I can remove it and put it again. Oops. And it's playing. And I like a lot to do this, and I have to do it again here from a better finish of Twitter. It's not so beautiful. Do another vinyl here. I want to do all of this black too. Here my system, I have a lot of problems because of mid-bass indoors have so huge dips, and I didn't know so much how to tune my system. I have the mic, I have interface, but trying to use, but not so professional. And Patreon videos from Peter helped me a lot to know how to do, what I have to do. And I watched almost all of videos and try to make the tuning of my system, and it's very better now. It's so much better, and I'm trying to get the best of my system. That's what the equipment that I have here, and trying to turn the system with the best that I can. And Peter videos help me a lot of this, and help me a lot to do of constructions of the box, of A-pillars, of sound deadening, and all of the things I could do by myself. And that's what I did here in the car. Thanks a lot for the video, for all of content, and sorry about my English. I'm not expert in English, but I know, and I think you could understand this.
Hi everyone, just a quick 2-minute video, basically to say a huge thanks to Peter at PS Sound, who massively inspired me for my actual build. I could not have done it without you, so yeah, basically just want to say, you know, your whole videos on Patreon, on YouTube, has all, you know, played a part on me getting my build completed. It's not fully finished yet, so I mean, it's a work in progress, so I mean, you know, I'm happy, but I drive every day to university, which is in York. I'm in Milton Keynes, so it's about 2.5 hours each way, or 6 hours a day drive, roughly. So yeah, I need my music to sound good, but being a student, I can't also afford to pay, you know, the fees, because I don't really have income to get it professionally built. So I mean, doing it myself was sort of the only option really. I had the gear lying around, which I had in my Honda also, and then I thought I'd get it put in this, in my Audi, which I'm almost there now. So excuse the mess in the back. I'm doing a dump run tomorrow with all the sort of offcuts and things, but yeah, just a quick rundown on my system. I've got I've got a pair of Micro Precision 5 series mid-ranges in the dash. I'll show you those. I don't know if you can see that. It's 2 in the dash, and that was sort of custom fabrication there. I fiberglassed it, used a bit of body filler, and then, you know, I wrapped the dashboard in it's called Milano, but it's like a sort of Alcantara finish. Yeah, what inspired me again is pretty much what you see in my build in this car is basically a bit of everything what Pete's done in other vehicles. So I got the inspiration for the dashboard from the Audi TT that Pete did for Chris. Huge thanks to that, because they do sound amazing. And also I was actually going to do kicks for my 5 series mid bass, kick enclosures, and I started building that, and I was almost there. I think I had about 22 litres, a bit more on sort of passenger side, but yeah, I decided to scrap that because I got the inspiration again from Pete that that he's done a build on a Skoda, and he's done true IB through the floor. So I thought, you know what, I'll give that a try, because it'll be a lot quicker than, you know, doing a whole sealed box and then vinyling it or carpeting it or whatever. You know, I don't have that time. I'll start uni soon. But yeah, they're in. They took me, I think, probably about a day. Again, I didn't even have the proper tools. I don't have a router. All I had is a jigsaw and some basic tools. So yeah, you know, it's mad. Like the level of DIY that I have. I normally work in, or I normally study in IT. So it's a completely different sort of field to me. And I've not really worked on anything like this, woodwork or things like that. But I've always been interested in sort of car audio since I was younger, you know. So what I believe would really get this build to the next level is honestly probably just a tweeter, I would say, or a tune. You know, I'd be more than happy if, you know, I'd get a tune on this, because pretty much I'm happy with how the mid-range sound. I think they play nicely. Yes, do I think it would benefit from a tweeter? Probably, yes, I would say so. But, you know, I think when I had these mid-range in my Honda, I think they played all the way up, and I think they sounded fine. So, you know, and that didn't really have a proper tune. So if I ever, you know, get a chance, if I do win, then fingers crossed that I can get a tune booked in. I'd be more than happy for that. Thanks.
Hello Peter, I'm Kurt. Username myboy051. It's going to go over this video and you know, go over some of the things, how you've inspired me over the years. I've probably been watching for, I'd say, about 1.5 years, 2 years now. And I'll go over my system. That's actually in progress right now. I made a few changes, so it's not up and running as of yet. So I've been so busy and trying to get this done. So I've actually been driving around without any music for, I'd say, about a month and a half now. Between going on vacation, not being able to get it all done. But first video I come across was from looking for information on the Zapco 150.6 AP amp. And what I found was the Mercedes AMG E65, using those amps, and I found some information on that, and I've been hooked since then. And I actually ended up getting one, and I have it in here running my system. I'll go over my system in just a moment. So you've most definitely inspired me over the years. I've learned so much. This video would just be so long if I just went over every little thing that I've learned, just through wiring techniques, connection techniques, pillars, materials, sound deadening, what to use for it, where to put it, how to apply it, tuning, watching tuning videos, just how to set things basic. I mean, I am still learning a lot on that as well. I've always been into systems since I was probably about 16 years old. I'm 40 years old now. I've always been kind of a bass head up until maybe 2.5, 3 years ago. And things kind of changed, getting older and looking into the finer things in life, I guess you could say. Especially when it comes to music. I love music. I listen to everything. The sound demos I have titled, playlists rather. I have all those. I've discovered so much music, just by watching your channel as well. Not only, quality installs, music, just how everything works. I've expanded so much by watching your channel. So I guess we'll move on to my system. And I appreciate everything. All your videos. You put so much time into it. I know it's a late submission of this video, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. Once again, I appreciate all your videos, all your time and effort you put into it. Became a Patreon member, and now it's just a whole nother level. Hopefully, get a lot more subscribers and Patreon. So I'll go over my system that is in progress right now. It's changed over the years. On my actually third different DSP here. Changed out my mid bass. Like I said, I don't have everything in it right now, but I will explain what I do have. So we'll move forward with that. So everything's installed in my 2007 Chevy Silverado pickup truck. I got this about 3 years ago. Started putting a system in it about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago. Like I said, it's evolved over time. As I've learned, I've changed things up. Guys actually think I'm kind of crazy. I keep on changing everything, but you know what? As I do it, I'm learning so much as I change things as well, and it just keeps on getting better and better as I'm making adjustments with it and changing things over a period of time. But let's move forward with that. And here's my truck. Here in Boston, Massachusetts, over in the States. I don't have my 210s installed right now. They're actually in the box. I took the box out. They're at work. I'm an automotive tech of 19 years also. So I mean, this is actually comes a little bit natural to me. I do most of the electrical diagnostics at work, computer reprogramming and coding and whatnot. So this is, it's coming natural to me, I suppose. We'll start off with what I have for amplifiers. What I'm actually working to do with the amplifiers. I currently have my JL 750 HD, 750 by 1 HD amp. It's up there. It's kind of tough to see it, but here is my fuse system right here. Everything's behind the seat. I can't take the seat down. I have that is running my two JL W3 10-inch subwoofers in a sealed box, and they are running about 0.8 cubic feet per per side. The box will go underneath. It goes from this side to that side over here. I'm gonna go to the other side where the Zapco amp is. You can't really see it much, but I am running the Zapco 150 by 6 AP amplifier. I am running that active on my front stage. And you see some RCAs right here. That is going to be running my other amplifier. I don't know if you can see it right there. Kind of tough to see it, but like I said, I can't get to the amplifier because the seat is bolted down. And what I'm actually working on right now is putting another JL HD 750 by 1 amplifier in to run a JL TW3 slim subwoofer in my center console. It is going to be underneath here. I'm actually in the process of making that box. It's almost done. Take this up. See, I have the wires down here. My DSP, which is underneath there. You can't see it, but that is the Helix Ultra that I'm running underneath there. This is the Kenwood DMX 906S head unit. I am running the topping D10S DAC. How I get control of that is on this USB port right here. I plug it right into that from my Apple iPhone, and that'll go directly to the topping D10S. This port right here goes directly to the DSP, so when I want to hook up the laptop for tuning or anything like that, that goes directly to there. And these two ports right here are connected directly to my Kenwood DMX 906S. The 10-inch slim subwoofer is going in this area. It goes from about here all the way to the front, from here to there, and it will be down firing. So that will be my center console subwoofer, along with my two JL W3 V3 10s that it will be fighting that downfire underneath the back seats. In the doors, I am running Audio Development W800 Neos. I was running in 6.5 hertz, but I changed those out to the 8-inch. Very, very heavily deadened doors, inside, outside. I have the egg crate foam on the door as well. Everything's all nice and firm behind me. I wish I could have the door off to show you everything I've done. For my tweeter, I made these pillars. That's the Hertz ML 280.3 tweeter. Here is the ML 700.3 mid and the pillars that I've made. See over there as well. I'll close the door and you'll be able to get a better idea of the aiming. I'm gonna come around here. Go. Right there. There we go again, right there. I actually use a bed liner spray on these. I'm actually going to sand those down and utilize a SEM paint to make it look more like this right here. But, that's what I have for the mids, tweeters. Mid bass is down there, the AD, the Audio Development W800 Neos. I think that covers just about everything for the system. And so I'll be running two JL HD 750.1s, the Zapco 150.6 AP amp that is running the active front three-way stage. And I have the Helix DSP Ultra, and I will have another 10-inch in the center console right there. Headwind unit, and also the topping D10S that will be running off of my my iPhone. And, I think that covers my whole system. I have nothing in the back or anything like that, so. Again, Peter, you've inspired me so much. I've been watching for about 1.5 to 2 years. You've probably seen my comments many times, asking questions, and on Patreon as well. Like I said, the music. There's so much knowledge. Like I said, I can make this video so long by going over and over and over things that I've learned. But like I said, this video I think is probably around 10 minutes long already. Again, you're going to take your time to view this video. There I am, the face behind My Boy 051 on Patreon and YouTube. Like I said, you've inspired me so much. I've progressed a lot with this, and it's going to continue. I'll continue to watch your videos. Again, thank you so much. I deeply appreciate it. Thank you. And I actually will have the director right here. I have it all made up. That's where these two screws in through the back. And it actually goes flush up against here. I wish I had it with me to show you that all completed, but I don't have it. But it looks really nice. There you go. Lots of inspiration from you. That's it. Thank you again.
Hi Peter, this is Fabien from France. So I'm sending you this video to present my new project in Caraudio. So I'm following you since the beginning, I think. I was always very inspired by your work and your progression. We quickly met a few years ago for my first install in a Skoda Superb, and this is the third install now. So as you can see, the Golf is still there for sale, and the new project is C3 Picasso. So I picked up the car 2 days ago and already stripped out all the plastic trims to install most I can do. So I was pretty lucky to be able to install the amp rack from the Golf with very little adjustment and modification. So all the wiring are now in place. Everything is well protected and labeled, as you can see. PS Sound spirit, I would say. So in this trunk or boot, I will install a new sub, an Allianti, to try them. Never heard them before, and they have good reputation to be a musical sub. For the other stuff, I will use a Zabco 6-channel AP, an Helix DSP Pro, and the PDX for sub and rear fill, maybe later for the rear fill. So yeah, everything is now in place except the power cable. I have to find a way to go through the battery. Inside the car, I always wanted to try mids in dash like you, with larger mids. I hope I will be able to fit here some 12 or 13 centimeters mids. Here I have to find the best aiming for them and how I will build the enclosure. I think the the new tweeters will be installed in these small pillars close to the mids, and for the mid base I will use under seat enclosures, closed enclosures, because I have some space under the seat, so I guess I will be able to build good enclosures, but I will have to find the right speaker for them, because I think on the right I will be able to get almost 10 liters, on the left a bit less. I really like the speakers I used in the Golf, the C's paper cones, but they need more space to be used in sealed enclosures. So yeah, this is a new project. I hope you will enjoy it and follow it, and see you later. Bye.
Hello guys, I'm Carl Townsend, new to the Patreon group for PS Sound. Hope you're all doing well. So, first of all, I thought I'd enter this competition because I think I have been inspired by Peter and PS Sound, shall I say, over a number of years now. So I'll talk about my system and where it's come and where I've been, what my journey's been. I've been into Caraudio for, I don't know, since I was about 14, 15. Messing around with people's cars, you know, installing terrible systems and 4 subwoofers here, Kenwood, Alpine, all the usual brands to start with, and you know, I've progressed through the years to where it is now, really. First of all, you know, how has Peter helped me, and how's he inspired me? So I would say, so I first met Peter probably 4 or 5 years ago now, in a competition. So the Emma competition. I saw Peter at one of the shows, very approachable guy. I forgot what system he had now. Again, his car's changed a number of times. It may have even been the Honda. But yeah, I spoke to Peter, had a listen to his car. He sat in my car, giving me lots and lots of tips. And then I booked a session with Peter to have my car tuned at the time. I think I came second or third in the competition when I first started, and then I had a tune from Peter. The same car then won the next competition, which was great. That was just a 2-way front end with sub. Again, for what it was, sounded pretty good, and Peter, you know, again took it to the next level with his expertise. Got hooked on the Emma competitions and the whole Caraudio scene again as I've grown older, and I'm really enjoying it. So my car today, I think I've built this one about 6 or 7 times now, in different iterations and different setups at the front end. Changed equipment lots of times to get it to work, and you know, it's improved, shall I say. But the most drastic changes have been pretty much from Peter's advice, really, and watching his YouTube videos and being inspired to try things, shall I say. So the main changes in my car now, and I'll walk you through the car in a second, once I've kind of explained what I've got. So BMW 3 Series, 2015. Didn't want to do many changes to the car at first, because I thought, you know, it's a pretty nice car. I didn't want to cut the car or you know, cause any damage to it unnecessarily, to be fair. But you know, these things go. Everyone's in the same situation. You start small, you get the bug, and then you're never happy, and then you'll try something else, and that's exactly what's happened to me. So I've gone from doing pillars, about 5 or 6 different changes on them. I've put 3-inch, 4-inch, 2-inch, all different brands, Hybrid Audio, Audison, ScanSpeak, all different brands of speakers I've tried on the pillars. You know, it sounded pretty okay, but never truly happy. So where I am now is I've got dash build, just finishing the tweeters off in the sales. Again, the dash build came from Peter, and what I've seen in many of his cars, so his Honda's one of them, dash build and that. Sounds amazing. Heard cars with other dash builds, and yes, he's right, it worked for me. Again, the next biggest change, which I did about a month ago, and I've only just heard them on last weekend, is I've cut the floor. So watching one of Peter's videos with the BMW 6 GT, where he cut the hole in the floor for IB, I thought, oh, stuff it, you know, what the hell, I'll give it a go in my car. And yes, again, Peter is right. The car sounds absolutely completely different now. It's gone from being what's described as muddy bass, so it was the usual factory locations under seat in BMWs. I'd upgraded to an Audison 8-inch driver. I think I tried another one as well. I think it was the what's the other brand, I forgot what it was now, but I've tried a couple of different brands, both pretty much the same problems. The Genert, them ones, same problems. Again, sounds okay, but completely different story when I've gone IB. It now plays, you know, 50 hertz with authority under the seats very well. And it again, you know, I can turn the sub off in the back and it still sounds, all the low bass, all the kick bass, the mid bass is coming from the front of the car. No rattles, and it sounds, you know, natural. And again, I probably wouldn't have done it if I hadn't seen that BMW 6 GT that Peter did on his channel. He pushed me to do it and give it a go, and yes, you know, it works. It really does work. Watching loads of Peter's videos, again, it definitely makes me do things, because I'll be watching them, I'm thinking, oh, you know, shall I give it a try? And 10 times out of 10 now, it's right. It's the right thing to do. And again, you know, watching his tuning videos, how that's done has brought me a massive long way as well. So when I had my tune 4 years ago, I think, you know, Peter taught me some stuff. Again, it's changed now as Peter's learned more stuff, but he got me to do, you know, show me the basics, and I've learned a lot in these last 4 or 5 years, to a point where I'm pretty happy, and you know, on where my car's come. So yes, you know, big thank you to you, Peter. Well, the missus won't say so, because it costs a fortune. You know, it can cost a fortune depending on what you want, where you want to go. And again, you know, I think everyone should learn lessons on things like, you know, don't spend too much money on equipment if it's in the wrong installation. Installation has been the biggest factor in this car, and what I've got now in the changes. You know, I've changed speakers that many times, I've lost count now, and it's not cheap. You know, Caraudio is not cheap if you want good stuff and you know, good sound. But installation, as Peter keeps banging on, is key. I'm not just saying that, it really is. I think, you know, hearing my car last weekend, I did a quick tune on it, and even with a quick tune, it sounds 100 times better. It really does. It put a smile on my face for once, where I'm like, wow. You know, central image, all the sounds up on the dash coming from at the front. Great attack on the mid bass. And yeah, and it's all, you know, thanks to you, Peter, you know, from learning from your advice and where I've taken it. Again, the competition will be good for me. So where I'm at now, I'll now's the time I'll talk you through my system. So let me just swap the camera around on my phone. So, okay, it doesn't let me swap it around, but hey ho, does it? No. Okay, so I'll turn it around very quickly. So there's, I think you can see, is the so that's the Audio Physics RG100, again mounted on the dash solidly. I tried to make it look OEM as possible. It's a new dash for the car, and I've got the RG50 tweeters there. I have Audison, so not Audison, what am I on about? Hybrid audio, Unity 6B9s under the seats, again perfect for the application. They are mid bass and they're great for IB. I have I've got two Claris hybrid audio 15-inch subs in a baffle behind the back seat, so I've gone IB. I've had 10-inch subs, 12-inch subs in sealed boxes, again IB. sounds way more natural than a seal box, and you need more power as well with a seal box. These play to 20 hertz, no problem at all. When I say IB, it's more free air, but you know, it's as good as with the boot, the size of the boot in this car. Yeah, it sounds pretty nice. So again, yeah, front end, 4-inch on the dash. Again, play to around 150. Play to around 150, even lower if I want them to. 1-inch tweeters there, 6x9s under the seats, 215s. I'll do a quick look at the boot for you now very quickly. You bear with me. So again, as through Peter's recommendations, I've just got to tidy the boot up a little bit, but very quickly. You can see I've got the Zapco ZAP 150.6, the 400.2, a Helix DSP3. Again, Peter's some tissue off cables from Peter, and all braided, and the usual Teflex braided sleeving, all fused, all ferruled on the speaker connections, things like that. So yeah, pretty solid installation, as good as I can get it for my level of skills. So I think with my system now where I am, the only thing that's probably lacking, as I've noticed, is I would say the tweeters. They're okay, but I've heard better. And you know, I like the Micro Precision series tweeters. That they're very detailed and natural sounding. Give some nice ambience on them. Again, these are nice, but I do think they're probably what the weakest point of the system now are the tweeters in this car. So you never know. Yeah, it's worth entering the competition to see if Peter can help me. But again, you know, take Peter's advice. Watch all the videos he puts online. Watch from the start. Watch his series, the ones where he talks about different topics, because I've learned so much things from them. And you know, I spoke to Peter many times. It shows, and he's a great guy, very approachable. But yeah, if you want a good sounding car, either take your car to Peter, or just take his advice, basically, and you'll go a long way. Don't spend thousands and thousands on kit unless your car is pretty, the install's rock solid. That's one key takeaway I've kind of picked up, and all the other installation tips from him. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and you know, get yourself to one of the shows, go and see Peter. Be great to meet more people at these EMA shows, and just in general Caraudio, which, unless you've heard a great sounding car, you are missing out, you know. So that's my advice. Even my missus, my friends sat in my car, some other cars, and they're blown away. So you know, Caraudio is for everybody. You know, if you sit in a good system and you enjoy music, why not just go for it. You'll realise, and you'll enjoy your drive home mainly, and have some fun in the car. So what's not to like? All right, guys, well, thank you very much, and take care.
Hello, my name is Mark Jackson. This is my car, my audio system. At the front, I have a Kenwood 10.1 inch screen, which uses analog out to my processor. In the front, I've got the Helix Director, as you can see. From a front soundstage, I've got the Audible Physics Brahma T1s with the new Audible Physics NZ3s. And as you look further down, and then in the kicks, we've got the Audible Physics AP 6.25s. Taken about a year so far to get to where I am. Right now I'm using Android Auto from my phone, which is mounted on a quad lock bracket there. The cable in the bottom is just for charging. I spend a lot of time in my car. I've got some ambient lighting which runs across the front, and everything's been put into the doors. Speakers have been removed from the doors altogether because we all know that they're a bad location, especially in this car. They're right at the back, which end up at your hip. Worst design ever for speakers. Doors have been sound deadened. We've got about 3 layers altogether. We've also got the foam on the inside of the door card. Took quite a while to do, but worth it in the end. The majority of the installation's been done by Steve Pegg from Vesselworks, with some help from myself. You know, it's been a combination, but Steve's done the majority of it. The kick builds themselves, I believe them to be about 5, 6 or 6 litres. We've cut some of the track out at the bottom to get them in. They're all nice and solid. As you can see, the pull tab there is for the bonnet release. We have to do quite a bit of modification just to get that in, but it works, and it works well. The A-pillars, there's a few design changes on these and a few speaker changes. We've gone from the Audison Voce. One wasn't too happy with those overall, then changed to the Ram 3As. Then we went to the next ones up to the AIBEs, and then finally we've gone with the NZ3s. These have been flocked and look really nice, sound well too. They're all absolutely solid, dead as. Pleased with what Steve's done, the look. Yeah, I'm impressed. So, soundstage is nice. A lot of my music comes from Tidal. I've also got a hard drive as well. Head unit's quite nice. I did have a join unit, but decided for a bit of a change for what I wanted to do. This one seemed to fit my specification a little bit better. In the back, it is all standard, with the exception of they are plug and play. The focals from Golf, so we've got a 2-way, and they're currently on differential rear fill at the moment, which works really well, makes all the difference. And then we move to the back. So we'll start off here. So that's a Zapco ST4X SQ, which runs the Brahma T1s and the NZ3s. Then we run across to the middle, which is a Zapco ST1350 XM2, which is a monoblock for the Helix SQ12. Move back up, and that's another ST4X SQ, which runs the differential rear fill, and I've also got some shakers on the front seats, which adds a little bit of extra something. So in a side pocket I have an additional battery, and then there's another Zapco ST4. Cables at the moment just need sorting back out. I've been doing a bit of changing, a bit more testing, just trying to see if I can get it a little bit better. As you can see at the top, we've got fuse distribution, that's the lighting controller, and then we've got a 5-volt regulator at 40 amps, which is enough for all the lighting. And as you can see at the moment, we've got an illuminated Vesselworks logo. Thing is, this car is it's my works car, so if I lift up, we've got the Ultra nicely tucked away there, and then we've got power distribution there. Oh, nicely. I've got some stills of what the car looks like during the day, which when there's nothing in it, there's just a beauty panel, and then everything else, it's when I've got all my tools in. As you can see from the outside, it looks relatively standard. I've got ladders and steps on because of my day job, but it works, and it works well. I'm pleased with everything that's happened. Peter's done some tuning more than once, and as with many things really, you listen and you want to change, you want to make it better and better. I've had my first year in competition. That's the first year. I've done just one so far, and I'm looking to improve. Cabling has all been done. They're all bespoke cables made specifically just for this and for me. Everything looks nice and neat. I'm trying to keep it simple. I think simple works. The top is all vinyl. The sub sits in the spare wheel well, which is 22mm MDF on 4 sides, and there's about 15mm of glass fibre on the bottom, moulded to the bottom of the wheel well. The top itself is made in 2 sections. There's a join line right there, but if you weren't looking, you'd not really see it. Now that's with the beauty panel back in. As you can see, you wouldn't really know. There's some cutouts, and you can see there, and so on, just to let everything out. And there we go. Hinged in the middle. It also gives me access still for the controller. I'm going to switch that one off for now. Everything's still work in progress, but I'm sure we'd all agree that there's always little bits on all those builds. Still utilising the side pocket. I do need some space. From the outside, you can see it just looks standard, apart from the blacked out windows, and that's it. As you can see, power up front is a Stinger battery with 60mm running front to back. As you can see, with Stinger distribution and Ordison connections. The Ordison connections is for the alternator, as you can see there. One of the next things to do is a power distribution relay, so that the front and back battery are separated until the ignition is on. It's not that causing any problems, it just helps maintain voltage. The alternator on the car has been changed from the factory 140 to a factory 180, so which is a Bosch. We've done the big 3 and a few other bits as well.
This is what the lights look like on a night. As you can see, very effective. I'm quite pleased with how they turned out.
Hi Peter. I've been trying to record this now for a couple of times, but turns out the microphone on my phone is very destroyed, so I've actually borrowed some equipment to be able to do this. So yeah, this behind me is my 2013 Honda Accord, and it has gone through quite an transformation. I started out like a bass head, wanting more and more bass, and that in turn turned into, actually, when I acquired this car, Honda Accord, I discovered your videos. And through your videos, Patreon, everything, the car has gone through quite an transformation. And actually now to the point where I'm getting a Dayton Audio UM18, and I'm cutting a hole in my floor. So yeah, I basically started out trying to get as much bass as possible, as many other. But after discovering what you've done in your Honda and other projects, I decided to go the other route with the sound quality. That had led me through a lot of different options. But currently I have a ring radiator in a waveguide and a Tangband VW3 midrange, and a set of 7-inch they're slightly bigger than a 6.5 in each door, in a 3D printed sealed enclosure, and a 8-inch SB Acoustics front sub. And currently, even though I've sold it, there's a sound splinter RLS 12 in a 60-liter sealed box in the spare tire well. That is a very special driver to me. I've had it a long time, and now the guy I actually bought it from, which his car at the time, he didn't have enough space for it, but now he's also cutting a floor to house that driver in his little BMW, so that should also be fun. But I've learned a lot from watching your videos, not only with how to properly mount, do proper stiffening, and the importance of doing that, and also tuning. Even though you're quite secretive of tuning and all the details, I think also not only with cars but also in like home audio or like bigger stage systems. I've also done a lot of renting out bigger systems. So through that I've learned a lot, and through tuning, retuning, tuning again, tuning with different microphones has also been quite a learning experience, because learning your microphone is quite important, and also learning your ears. Turns out, for example, I have a slightly I'm hearing slightly weaker on my left ear. So in my car, everyone seems that the right side is a bit quiet because I'm tuning for my ears and not everyone else. I'm now gonna compete in the EMMA competition here in Norway. I'm hoping to be able to compete most of 2022. I'm going to my first show now in just under 2 weeks, or over 2 weeks, and I'm quite excited. So thanks a lot for all of your videos, and a lot of very good and knowledgeable information. Thanks.
Hi guys, my name is Eyal. I'm Bye.
Here we are after this long video. Hopefully you managed to find time to watch all these videos and you didn't skip all these hours to jump to the end to see, well, probably all of you have done that just to see who the winner is, especially all those 17 people who took part in this game and shared these videos with me so I could share it with you. Hopefully it all helped you now to see a wider picture of this culture, how a single person can affect and inspire so many others. And now the same way, all these guys, what they talked about, they might have inspired you too, and they have given you an even bigger push to carry on and make your car audio system sound better. Because for us, it's the ultimate freedom. When we sit in the car, we are away from everyone and we can listen to music in whatever way we want. We had the occasion last week when we had one of our clients coming down to us to listen to the Insignia before it went back to Denmark, because it's the owner of the BMW 6 GT you have seen many videos of, and he has a very high reference level. He always finds something with the system, and I told him many times that at the end of the day it's really down to the limitations what we have in a car, where we can install speakers, in what application, that limits what we can get out of it. No matter how good equipment we have, installation is the most important part. And then when he listened to the Insignia, a whole new world opened up for him. He could experience what is truly possible. And why I brought this up now, because he was saying that, you know what, Pete, I could have a 100 grand system at home, it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't be able to enjoy the same way what I experienced in the Insignia within the hour he probably spent in the car. Because, you know, family members have kids, wife and everything. They can't listen to music at home, even if even if they have a great system. So they would need a dedicated listening room and lock themselves up. But in reality, yeah, it's tough for most people. But if you have a car audio system, you can just jump in the car, and when you go to your work or go anywhere, you can enjoy it on your own or with the family. And that gives such a freedom. That's why I love, and I guess all of you love car audio, and that's why you do it. But enough of talking. We are here because of this fishbowl, because we want to pull the winner out. And there you go, I just look away. Now all these 17 guys are waiting for the moment when I pull one out. One name out. And that is Chris. There you go. Chris is the winner of this game. So Chris, if you're watching this, then please drop me a line. If you are quicker than me, drop me a line and we can discuss what you want, what you need the most for your system, how I can help you to make even bigger improvement in your system, and then we will make it happen. And maybe for Patreon you will send another video when you receive what you needed the most, so people see that I'm not faking it, I'm not just making it up. Now I pulled someone out and I never send that equipment or whatever it's going to be to the person. So congratulations, mate, and congratulations to all of you who sent this video in, because yes, now you might be a little bit disappointed, but at the same time I think what we have done with this and sharing all your videos on Facebook, it's gonna be something even more valuable within 10-20 years time, when we can go back, if YouTube is still gonna be around, hopefully, and we can watch your videos. We can see how that affected you, others, and the whole culture. And I hope to do a similar giveaway game from Patreon more frequently, whatever it's gonna be. Christmas, hell knows, I'm just saying. Now you are going to demand the giveaway game at Christmas from me, but surely let me know, all of you guys who watched this video, what you thought about it, what you thought about this format of sharing other people's projects, and hopefully, you know, we can all meet one day. I can all see your faces, I can get to know you when I have a chance, I know so many people try to, send me a friend request on Facebook, and sadly, sorry, I've refused to accept them because I have so many people every week, hundreds of them trying to be a friend with me, and I've never met you. So my private life is staying private. I really appreciate if you want to follow my work and our work, PS Sound's work. Then you have the options on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and now Patreon as well. So feel free to check out Patreon as well, and I'm sure you can learn a lot from there. No one has complained who joined that they didn't see enough content there. Especially now, if you join now, you can go back and watch everything from the last nearly a year. So there's a lot of content there. This is it. Chris, congratulations to you again. I finished this video here because it's extremely long, and it's taking me a lot of time to finish and edit this video. So congratulations to you and everyone else, and I will see you in the next video when we share another project with you guys. Enjoy your day and let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, do the usual things, and see you in the next one. Take care.